Now, listen, Brendan, I got to restore your Marxist credentials here after having tried to destroy them just then. There is actually, I mean, I go along with it insofar as believing that, you know, we do have classes in society. They're very loose and sometimes they overlap like a Venn diagram, but classes. And I would say today that the predominant class, the dominant, strongest class, is no longer the capitalists with the top hat. It's the political and media class that strikes me as being so interfering. How do you see it, and how does that class work?
I completely agree. I think it's kind of the middle class. I know Australia has a very different understanding of the middle class to us in Britain. It's the chattering class, I think, because the two great classes of the past, you had the ruling class on one side, the kind of top hat people, and you had the working class on the other, the kind of cloth cap people, and they were loggerheads for basically 200 years. But both of those classes have, for various reasons, kind of lost their influence, lost their clout, become shadows of their former selves. And I think as a result of that, the middle class, the kind of chattering class, that section in the middle of those two classes, has become more and more powerful by default. And that's why I think over the past 20 years or so, we've seen that class play a much more influential role in everyday life. And it's an often quite mean-spirited class of people, the chattering class, ungenerous, distrustful of the public. Because it lives in its own kind of rarefied bubble, it has this kind of view of other people as basically untrustworthy, racist, problematic, unhealthy, people who need to be re-educated and fixed. And they see it as their role to re-educate us and fix us. So I think as those two great classes of old have kind of lost their way, this new poisonous kind of interventionist class has taken over, and that's a real worry, I think.